All right, guys. So I got here to Michigan, come to Pike Gear to pick up all my new stuff. I'm wearing the new Tongass pants that Brent just gave me.
Flip-flops optional.
Flip-flops are definitely not recommended for bird hunting. I went and tried that this morning. Doesn't work good. But, so I wanted to go through all the stuff that I picked up. So starting from early season, going on into late season, this is the one that I like to wear for quail hunting and for sharp-tail hunting up in North Dakota, and what I'm going to be wearing mostly when I'm in Alaska. This is the Kyoa Shirt. And so this is a one-color pattern that they got, the gray with the orange sleeves. And then this is the other one, the orange body with the gray sleeves. And these things are light. They dry super fast. Like, that's the one thing the last time you were out hunting with me out there in North Dakota, we had so much dew on the grass. And between the pants and this, it's going to get you dried off real fast, so you're not going to get wet.
Yep, absolutely. It's treated with a wicking finish, so it's 100% nylon. It's nylon with a little bit of spandex in it, so
Sure.
it stretches and stuff like that, but it's treated with a wicking finish, so as you perspire, that moisture spreads out on the garment, and the sun, air, things like that, it just dries out super quick. It's also treated with an antimicrobial, so when you're on these long trips,
that's going to be a big thing for this one.
It keeps it from stinking too bad. I mean, now that being said, if you're there for 4 days in a row, and you're sweating and it's 80
Sure.
degrees, I mean, it's going to smell.
Right.
You can overpower the antimicrobial. It's not bomb-proof.
Right,
but it works pretty good on those normal days.
But that's going to be one of the things for this big trip that we're taking. We're going to end up washing our stuff in the creek and hanging it up to dry.
Yeah.
You know, so you were telling us earlier that if you're on a trip like that, you can actually take these and you can wash it with what
I use woolite for, with the blaze oranges, we all know it fades like crazy no matter what. I mean, it's a terrible fade. I think woolite is nice and gentle on the clothing. You can get a 5-gallon bucket if you're on a long trip and just, get in there and scrub it up and, just use a little bit of that, hang it out to dry, and it'll dry out. Your old cotton stuff will be soaking wet the next day. This stuff will be dry in a couple hours.
So we go from that. And then after I get back from those trips, it's going to be starting to get cold. I'll be doing some sharp-tail hunting in North Dakota. But once October rolls around, it starts getting chilly. This is the new Tongass shirt.
Yes. Yep, Tongass pullover, Tongass shirt. It's a polyester nylon blend. Again, this is a water repellent finish on this, so it does not wick moisture. But what it does have, it has a special fiber in it called Kyoa 37.5. And although it doesn't actually wick moisture, that fiber actually has some charging to it that actually helps pull the moisture off your skin, so when you are perspiring and stuff like that, the shirt does not get soaking wet on you and stuff like that.
These are going to be perfect for October rough grouse hunting.
Absolutely, that's right.
Sure.
I'll wear like a light base layer underneath this, and I'll wear that down to 35 degrees.
Yeah.
If it's real windy out, you don't want to wear a vest or a jacket on top of it.
And when you're out walking, you're working hard, you're going to be warm anyways.
Yes.
Like, I'll end up wearing this probably until it's 20 degrees or 25 degrees.
Yeah.
Out there pounding cattails and stuff like
that,
it's going to be perfect. When it does start to get colder, though, this is the piece of gear that I've been waiting for. I love this jacket, and this is
the Tongass
jacket. And this thing is going to be waterproof. It's got the sealed zippers. I mean, this thing's a nice jacket.
So what we did here is it's 100% polyester stretch jacket, so stretch component with a waterproof, breathable finish. It's YKK Aqua Guard zippers. And we actually did, instead of doing pit zips, I'm not a big fan of pit zips. I don't like the way they feel under my arms. Right. I don't like wearing them in the woods because I get hung up on things.
Right.
So what we did is we made the pockets up front here also vents. So you can open those up if you get a little bit warm. But what you'll find is this material breathes better than most anything else you've ever tested. So I mean, it's not Gore-Tex, but it's very similar to that. Actually, I think it's better than Gore-Tex.
Sure.
It's a super premium fabric, lightweight, packable.
And also, I mean, a lot of guys that are going to be bird hunting also deer hunt and stuff like that. If there's an orange requirement, this is going to be a nice jacket.
Yeah, there's plenty of orange in that baby.
Yeah, there is. More on me than on some people.
Right, me too.
Then also the cool thing that we got are these gloves. These gloves are awesome. You can actually use these on your phone. So everybody's had gloves on where you're trying to text or check Onyx or whatever, and you can't do it with most gloves without taking it off. You got a glove in the mouth, dogs, all that kind of stuff. But with these, you can.
Yeah, the other things we do with these gloves is, so it's 100% Petard's leather. The new gloves we're just getting in have that same type of Kyoa finish on there. So again, it's a waterproof or a water resistant finish on the glove itself, but then it also actually pulls that moisture off your hands. So if your hands are perspiring and stuff like that, that moisture goes away real quick.
Well, and the other thing, the big thing for me, the reason I've never wore gloves, and people always make fun of me for it, is because you can't find the safety on your gun, right? And there's nothing worse than walking up ready to go, and then your thumb slips over top the trigger, and you go up, and no boom.
Right.
With these, there's so much dexterity to them, you're going to be able to feel.
The other way you get good dexterity and not have gloves that are cheap is to use really super premium leather.
Sure.
And that's the tough thing. You have cheap leather and cheap gloves, golf gloves.
Right.
Yeah, they work fine for early season, but
it's not going to work.
You're going to burn through them real fast.
Right.
But this leather, I mean, I'm on my third season with these gloves, testing them out. And,
nice.
They're super durable, super comfortable. We also, if you notice that when you put them on, they're cut a little bit shorter.
Sure.
So your watch doesn't get interfered with. That was one thing I could never find a shooting glove once the watches started coming out that would work with my hand. So we cut that actually a little bit right around the radius around your watch, so it keeps your gloves from being interfered.
Yeah, it doesn't bind up there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. So Brent is going to help me set up my brand new Wingman vest. So there's been a couple of things over the years that I've been wanting, and you guys delivered. So one of the things that I've always been wanting is a pack for the back. That way I can carry stuff like dog boots and tape and hemostats and all the extra stuff that a guy might need if you're out of the truck for 4, 5, 6 hours, right? And so you guys designed this to go right on to the vest that you guys already have. So I want you to kind of help me get this set up.
Okay.
Because, first of all, you're going to know how to do it better than I am, and I'm going to be using it very, very soon. So let's go through everything that we got here.
All right. Let's start with the component pockets and the water bottles to set up first here. I won't bore people with going through the entire process of actually setting this stuff up, because we actually have little instructions that come in the back of the vest in order how to set this stuff up. So it's actually pretty simple, but the beautiful thing about the Molly system vest that we offer is that this gives you an unlimited, limited to what this belt is, configuration on how you want to have your vest set up. So you can use a zippered pouch on one side or the other side. You can do a shell pouch on one side or the other side. You can do 2 shell pouches. You can do multi-thing. You can actually have these both set up on one side. You can have water bottles set up here. You can do a million different configurations. So you can really get your vest set up the way you want it to. I mean, some guys, there's guys that they're not really into killing a lot of birds. They want to go out there and they're only going to kill a bird if their dog is absolutely has a perfect point on it, et cetera, et cetera. And
that's not me.
That's not me either. No, I like to shoot.
Yeah, I'm a trigger puller.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I mean, I hope I get to that point in my life, but it hasn't came yet. I'm almost 50, so
that's right.
So I don't see it happen anytime soon.
So you, as a bird hunter, how do you have your vest set up?
So I have my vest set up. So I'll have a zippered pouch on this side, a shell pouch on this side, and then when I'm out west, I'll run twin water bottles.
Yeah.
Now when I'm in the grouse woods, I only run 1 water bottle.
Sure.
And that's kind of the nice thing about having a setup like this is the fact that you can actually go through and remove stuff, add stuff.
That you don't need.
If you're doing various things, you can change things up. I mean, I've got a couple guys that are big dog trainers, and they'll actually run 4 water bottles back here.
Well, or drop one of the pouches on the side.
For sure. And then we actually have a little pocket inside here, so you can actually put a water bladder in here if you wanted to. There's an opening in the back, so you can run the tube up over your shoulder if you're so inclined. But I mean, that's we really we feel like we thought of just about everything.
Sure.
Except for
this. And so show how this thing will actually attach to the vest.
So this is really slick. I mean, for me, again, it's not something I'm going to wear in the grouse woods. Ever. I'm never more than probably 20 minutes from my truck as the crow flies. If a dog gets injured or I get injured, we're there. We can be to the truck quick. Now, that being said, when we're out in Oklahoma, Nebraska, we're going to Manitoba this fall. I mean, we might be 2 hours from the truck.
Right.
So in inclement weather, you might want to put a jacket here. We actually tested this in Newfoundland last year.
Oh, sure.
So you can put a jacket here. I mean, this isn't designed to carry, heavy stuff, but, light things, jackets, things like that. Because, the beautiful thing with the vest is it's designed to carry the weight on your hips.
Right.
So you don't want to, put a backpack on the back there that has 50 pounds.
It's just pulling.
And it's going to pull on your shoulders and be uncomfortable. So Todd, our my partner and lead designer of everything, he actually manufactured the first one of these vests in that machine right over there by himself. He actually did 4 of them. He did one for Travis and on the flush, and Ron and myself, and then one for himself. So the nice thing about this co-pilot that we're calling it for our Wingman vest is it's just a really
That's
easy.
a good name.
Isn't that
well
cool?
done. Yeah, I like that.
Should have called it the Maverick. If we'd known that Top Gun was going to be such a big deal when we designed this thing last year at this point in time, we would have named it something different. But co-pilot's pretty cool for our Wingman vest. So it just snaps on there like that, and there's actually a little buckle on the back side here, so it just kind of fits back around the inside here. We will be offering this in blaze orange and gray.
Okay.
So for the guys that are, you know,
Need the gray or the orange.
the extra orange, it's perfect for the guys that don't care or in areas that they don't need it. So that's what it'll look like on the back there.
Yeah. And just like you were saying, I mean, like just being able to put a dog boots or a jacket or whatever in here. I've always gotten stuck where I have a jacket and I get hot when you're out there hunting.
For sure.
And what does everybody do? We put it in here.
Right.
And then you pile up a bunch of dead birds on it, and it's got blood stains on it forever, and it's got twigs and everything else, and then you go to put it back on, and you got twigs in your collar. It's just, it's a pain.
Exactly.
So this is going to work really well for that.
So I mean, you can put stuff back here too, but again, the problem with shoving this full of a jacket is it pushes down and it reduces the volume that you have in your game bag.
Right.
You know, and I've seen a lot of people, you know, they have these lashing straps and stuff like that. Well, we're grouse hunters first and foremost. Right. You can't have that stuff in the grouse with. It's just going to get hung up on everything. Right. I've had every vest out there before we started designing our own stuff. And everything that ever, I cut everything off. Yeah, I cut off all the lashing straps. If there's any, you know, bungee cords and stuff like that, it all got cut off and thrown away because it's not practical in the grouse woods.
So this is the last piece of equipment that's going to go on my vest, and it's a really cool holder for your transmitter for your e-collar. And again, I mean, it's going to be a lot of personal preference, but you also got this bungee cord for redundancy. So, like, right-handed, I'm assuming, right? Like most of us civilized people are right-handed. So you run this on the right down.
No,
here.
Actually, I run mine right here.
You run yours on
the left side. Yes, I run, and that's again. You know, this is the beautiful thing about being able to customize this vest to the nth degree. Is I run mine right here, and that way I can put the gun in my left hand and just pull it out and see if I have to stimulate the dog. I'm more comfortable with my right hand, and it just goes right back in there. But again, with today's modern, you know, watches and stuff, I don't use my transmitter a whole lot. I mark my truck when I get to a spot, and every once in a while, if the dog does a little roundabout on me and I got to get him back, I might have to give him a little stimulation to get him to come around. Sure. But I mean, the transmitter just sits in there, and again, strategically, it's pointed down. Right. You know, I mean, we've all had these, it sticks you, and it bends up the antenna. By having that antenna down low, it doesn't get beat up, and you know, it keeps the facing protected as well by having it go in like this. Right. And each one of these things is actually handmade right here in our shop. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so we Kydex cut it with our laser cutter, and then Todd and his kids tend to mold these things by hand. Wow. So they're pretty labor intensive, but they're sweet.
They're really nice.
I mean, they're really cool. There's nobody else out there that makes anything.
And then having the bungee put around one of these things so that way in case you need to drop the collar or something like that.
You just put that just like this, and you've got redundancy. So if a bird goes up and you're looking at it, you can drop it and shoot and not worry about dropping in the underbrush. Or, you know, you fall and it pops out. You've got that there too, so it's not going to get taken away from you on that. You know, which nothing worse than losing a $750 handheld.
No kidding.
Especially if you're in Alaska.
And then you got to get a replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, this is going to be great. We're going to put it through the tests this year, and we're going to see how many birds we can fit in this thing. So.
Well, I can tell you, I put 5 ptarmigan in here last year.
Good.
I've put 5 rough grouse in here.
Okay.
We've had 4 roosters.
Perfect.
I've never gotten more than 6 or 7 quail, just because the quail numbers have not been great the last few
they're
years.
hard to hit.
But I mean, you know, again, this is a wild bird vest. It's not designed to be carrying, you know, 15 roosters at a pheasant reserve. I mean, you know, you just. We again try to keep the profile thin so you're not hanging up on stuff.
Absolutely.
And you know, we don't have a big giant opening in the back that collects debris all day long and stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
this is you know, designed how we want it to be designed. I mean, it works for, you know, the guys that have bought it seem to love it.
Yep. So no, it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Well, awesome.
Yeah. Sweet.